What is real? I don't know anymore.
I don't know, man.
I mean, you show me a tweet, I'm going to assume it's real until I assume everything's not real.
The combination of Orange Man plus AI is like, you have no idea.
Don't know what reality is.
Yeah, I mean, so do you know if it's real?
I don't know. You don't know if it's real either?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about
actually demolishing the White House to build a ballroom.
a ballroom.
Yeah.
For what?
I don't know. That's just what I
for dancing.
He's a real estate guy. He's doing value add projects.
Oh, he's
going to increase the
Imagine
value of the White House.
attaches like a Trump tower, like kind of like the casino. It's just like a giant gold tower.
Casino would be nice at the White House.
Oh God.
It would be nice to visit the White House and do stuff like that. Just like have like
roll some dice,
entertainment, corner.
Yeah.
White House craps table.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
What's up, chat? Welcome.
Welcome
up,
to the
everybody.
Alfalfa
Podcast.
Did we post? Did we tweet?
I posted in the Discord.
Steven, tweet to all your followers.
For those of you present, let us know if everything's sounding and looking acceptable. I was going to say good, but acceptable is okay.
Oh, you did the thing that Steven gets really upset about.
What did
I
You
tagged
did at here instead
which is
of
like,
everyone.
I don't know, 1,000 people.
No.
What does here do? Just only notify the people online?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like they're most likely to join the live than the people who are not online.
No,
Silly.
Steven
Somebody's
doesn't like
sitting there and they get
Waiting
a thing
for
on their
the-
phone. They go, oh, maybe I'll jump in.
You're insane if you have Discord notifications on, like on your actual phone. That's,
No one
people-
sees.
That's
people do that.
masochistic.
People do that.
Okay, people do it.
People do it.
They're Steven's favorite.
A lot of people.
We got to tweet it. What's the title? The modern man is killing himself.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, spicy.
And other spicy topics.
And other spicy topics. What do we have on the docket?
I want to talk about China, AI.
China.
AI,
Um,
Nick Land, Machinic Desire, and Right-Accelerationism.
Ooh,
Chris
spicy.
Williamson, the modern man is killing himself? ? An unpopular opinion. Is holding a 6-month emergency fund stupid?
question mark?
Stupid.
Oh, we're talking about that this week?
Oh, sorry, Armand's speaking. If you haven't noticed, Eric's gone today, so I'm on the ones and twos.
Oh, no.
And
I'll see you guys later.
yeah, Armand's not going to be present on this podcast. I'm sorry. I'm sorry ahead of time.
Trying to tell if this video quality looks okay.
We
I think the
had
shot looks good.
we had a late entrance
The
of
shot
these
looks
like
good.
Kona Wave beers,
Yeah.
big wave beers. It's a nice little
Welcome edition.
welcome addition as of 2 minutes ago. That was nice of
Oh, this is
our
a
friend to drop them off.
decent shot.
It's a good shot.
I
Good
like-
looking shot.
Yeah, I like this pink today. This is looking
you
good
look
on
great.
camera. Thank you. It's
What
one
else?
of my favorite shirts.
Or did you take the last of the whiskey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like
This
half
is,
a shot
This
left.
is a tequila, old fashioned.
Oh, okay. How does that taste?
Like tequila.
All right, well, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, then we'll get started. Go to ZBiotics.com/alfalfa. Use the code alfalfa at checkout to get 15% off the pre-alcohol probiotic. That's the one that we took before we started the podcast. You take it a few hours before you drink. I think, as Eric said, you drink
You drink before you drink.
before you drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good tagline.
It's probably been used in an ad. I would hope so. Anyway, the drink you drink before you drink. It takes care of that nasty toxin,
Acetaldehyde.
acetaldehyde. That's the nasty little fucker that makes you feel like shit in the morning. And it's not the
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest. Yeah, it's not the dehydration that makes you feel like crap after drinking. It's that toxin. So the pre-alcohol gets in there in your gut, and the genetically engineered probiotic takes care of that toxin. So you feel good enough to work out in the morning,
Fresh
go to work.
as a dove.
Yeah, fresh as a dove.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Sounds like something an Englishman would say.
Yeah, fresh as a dove.
You know, I just feel like we're lacking in our.
You need more impersonations.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, go check it out. ZBiotics.com/alfalfa. Use the code alfalfa at checkout. Let ZBiotics know you heard it from us. It supports the pod, does all kinds of good things, and you get 15% off. And if you don't like it, doesn't work for you for whatever reason, they'll give you your money back. And I think Halloween's coming up in a week.
Ooh.
So if you still have 4 parties on the agenda.
One of them,
My
it turns
adult
out,
man-child
overlaps
friend?
with a wedding I forgot I had to go to. So.
Oh, even better. So you need to stock up as well.
You're
All right,
gonna
thanks,
intro
ZBiotics.
me to some influencers. Get some AI twins going.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to meet some OnlyFans influencers?
I mean, it's not my business what they do for a living. You know, if people
Pretty
want
cool
to talk
if
to
they're
them,
OnlyFans influencers, though.
people want to talk
Oh,
to them.
shit.
That's fine. That's fine.
Sorry,
Hi again,
you're just
everyone.
yeah. Sorry, you're
it's
not on
me.
the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're expanding your network here, so let's, you know, Rolodex, write down the leads,
Can
and
your can Steno do like a X-rated video?
for special customers, yes, yes,
Special unlock. Okay.
yeah. You have to earn it. It's gamified.
Wait, what did Sam Altman call it? Erotica.
Yeah, erotica. Adult. Treat adults like adults. Let them talk the way they want to talk.
Let the kids bypass the age filter and let them talk like adults.
Who was it? One of you was like, kids aren't going to talk to this thing. I'm like, come on. First thing that's going to happen is kids are going to figure out how
Who
to.
said that?
I think it was.
I don't think anybody said that.
I think
it was
Eric said.
Eric, but Eric, I miss you. Eric is traveling for the next 2 weeks.
Ugh,
We will miss him greatly.
Doc is pay.
Yeah.
What's 0 minus 0? All right. Let's see what we got queued up. Does anyone have any alfalfa they'd like to share before we get in?
Yeah, I got some.
Ooh.
We have a new member in the community. I'm sorry. Is it Ollie? I think it's Ollie B. He dropped this study.
Ollie B.
I didn't even read it. I was just like running around, and then I'm like, hey, Doc, help me out here. Like, I went for an hour run. I ran my whole life, played competitive soccer, could run for hours every day. I go for this run. I'm just like absolutely destroyed. Like every joint in my body hurts. So I'm like, okay, I'll go for a 45-minute run. Same thing. I go for a 30-minute run, like a little better, a little less sore, but during the run, tremendous pain in my knees, ankles, everything. Anyway, the study addressed it. I should have just read it. And then Jensenius drops it into Gupta, and Gupta gives a response, and then they ChatGPT it for me, which was like really embarrassing. So thank you guys. Anyway, the alfalfa is like, you should only increase the length of your run by 10% at a time. You risk injury at anything more than 10% of your previous run, especially if you haven't ran in a couple years or something. And so anything more than that, then 2x's it. You know, if you like go and run double what you normally run. So now I understand why, like, I got away with it at like 25. I went and ran a half marathon or whatever, and I wasn't really like, I was running in soccer, but I wasn't going on runs, and I didn't have a problem. But if you're not running all the time and you go for a really long run, you can risk a real injury. So I think I was like on the brink of real injury. So I'm going to scale it back, just go for like a slow 15-minute jog,
okay.
you know, whatever.
6-minute jog.
But yeah, I mean, just watch out when you're running. Also, there was a ton of alfalfa dropped in the wellness channel about shoes. Like, I didn't realize how important running shoes are and the different types of running shoes. Ollie has like 7 of them that he was talking about. So yeah, there's some good alfalfa going on the wellness channel lately.
One of my biggest fears is the last time I will sprint and the last time I will jump. It happens in your life. There's a last time that you like, you know, get to use your body like you're used to be able to use it.
That's part of what inspired me to start running again.
Just because you don't want to like never run again.
Well, I just realized like no matter how much I Peloton or do calisthenics or whatever, or maybe play pickleball once in a while, like going for a run is hard. And I want to be able to maintain that. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be David Goggins, but like, look at the guy. He's older than me and he runs like an animal. So like, you just got to train the body, and I want to be able to keep that up. It's also the #1 way to burn calories. Like, no exercise beats going for a jog. Like, nothing.
I really despise that zone 2 shit. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'd rather sprint until I'm exhausted and my heart rate is peaking.
Isn't that better for burning fat?
I don't know.
It's mostly more effective, if not just as effective, to do like interval training. Yes, to do HIIT, like 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off, 4 circuits is like the best time to value that you can get. Like, you can get that done in 30 minutes or less versus like running for an hour.
Right.
You know, but you want to do both according to Peter Attia. Like, you want one long, like zone 2 at least per week in addition to the interval training. That'd be the ideal, is you're doing both.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Good alfalfa. Good share. Thank you. Do you want to start off with Chris Williamson and then kind of like go into everything else?
I figured that would be the last one.
Ooh, okay. It is the last in the card.
We're going to talk money first.
Okay. One thing I've been thinking about is, do you guys remember this guy? I'm going to mispronounce his name, but it's like Leopold Aschenberger?
Aschenberger?
Aschenberger.
I just made that up.
Yeah, like he's pretty famous for being like a 19-year-old that graduated Columbia. He went to work for OpenAI. He worked on the super alignment team, which notoriously was kind of disbanded after all that board trouble.
Super alignment.
The super alignment.
that
Yeah,
like
that doesn't exist anymore
Bigger than
at
the
OpenAI.
alignment team?
Yeah.
So there's an alignment team and a super alignment
I
team?
don't think there's any
And all
alignment
the
team
people on the
or
alignment team were just like,
no. You remember in AI 2027 that button that just says accelerate? Yeah, that's where they're on now. I think Ilya, who left the company,
alignment company.
he started it there and they left. Anyway, this guy goes on. I think about a year ago now, he wrote a series of essays, and the brunt of his thesis, and he makes a lot of assumptions in here. But the first part of his thesis, the first building block, is that we will reach artificial superintelligence beyond AGI. And he always talks about things we talk about. Humans can't really understand the idea of exponential growth, and things will really kick off when you can automate, when you have AGI and you can automate the AI research. So it's not Ilya and Andrej Karpathy like doing the AI research. It's 100,000 AIs doing them. Okay, so a lot of assumptions to get there. But let's say, I think his timeline was like, I don't know, 2028 or something. You could potentially get there. He says at that point, things will accelerate. We will be on the brink of artificial superintelligence, and it will become imminently a geopolitical event. We will liken it to building nukes. It'll feel like how COVID felt in February 2020. We're a month away from lockdowns, and people were talking about this COVID virus and how it's spreading and looking at the charts going up, and people were still kind of going out. The government wasn't doing anything. And then like 30 to 45 later, it was just like pure blunt force from the government. Shut down, massive stimulus. Let's come up with Operation Warp Speed. Let's like centralize a lot of efforts and try to get this thing solved. And his point, and we can talk about why he thinks it becomes a geopolitical, but I think the most obvious one is that you can build weapons of mass destruction with it, right? And there's several examples you could go through of what that would be, but it becomes clear and apparent that if the free world is going to survive, America must win. China has the same thing, and maybe there's other superpowers that kind of unite. Maybe there's like a Western alliance and what do you call it, the new Axis of Evil alliance, kind of starting to coordinate resources. And he effectively says the government will nationalize some efforts, force a merger of AI labs like OpenAI, DeepMind, maybe Meta's, Anthropic, lump them all together, and kind of start what was in the AI 2027 story, which was these like superclusters that are economic free zones where there's no permitting. They get subsidies. There's no taxes. It's just like whatever we need to do to build these superclusters. And I was looking up before we started the podcast. The biggest supercluster is a 1 gigawatt supercluster. That's Colossus 2. That's Elon's. And then Stargate is like a 1.2 gigawatt. And in his series of essays, he talks about the $1 trillion cluster, or the trillion gigawatt cluster. So we're not even at like 10 gigawatts, 100 gigawatts. He's talking like 1,000 gigawatt, cluster, the $1 trillion cluster. And so he's saying that because of the massive sensitivity of this information, that startups are not good at protecting their secrets, like say the military is, because it's going to be so like forget the economic gains, the productivity gains. Those are peanuts compared to like, will our free world exist anymore? The government will take it over, nationalize it. And I want to talk to you guys about what you guys think about that. Is that plausible? Is it unlikely? And what that might look like. But then I also want to know if the government does that, and these projections are right, is that great or terrible for NVIDIA? Because essentially what you're saying is that we're going to get, we're spending tens of billions of dollars on these like super clusters. It'll get to $100 billion super clusters. And then he's saying that like eventually you're going to have the concept of $1 trillion GPU cluster. And if the government nationalizes it, then their profitability, the ROI of AI doesn't matter. And are they just unleashing spend and NVIDIA goes to the moon? Or does NVIDIA get nationalized and it has even bigger problems? So
Okay.
a lot to unpack there.
Yeah,
But
you just asked me like 15 questions. What's
Yeah.
your favorite?
my favorite. What do you think about the idea of the government having to nationalize our AI labs and resources to win the free world again?
Yeah, that sounds inevitable. Is there controversy about that, you think? Do you think
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
inevitable?
the counterpoint is that
The beard is tilting in skepticism.
regardless of it's
No,
inevitable,
no,
is it
that's
is it good? Is it optimal? Because some people might say it's completely suboptimal because you want free enterprises to compete and go ahead, but Leopold's argument is that do you want Sam Altman with the keys to the autonomous bio producing weapon? No, of course not. Like that deserves these checks and balances that a government might have.
Yeah, I mean, should we have let the free market handle nukes?
No, I don't think we would have beaten the Germans in that case, right? Like I'm trying to remember back to the Oppenheimer movie, but I know they obviously had Los Alamos, right? And that was one. But then in another part of the country, they had centralized uranium enrichment. And then I think in another part, they had something else going on. And that there was this like kind of like massive Gantt chart of things that had to happen in progress, and they all had to hit for this thing to work. And I don't know if the government, let's say the military, not the government, the military hadn't taken over, if we would have, and also we were like picking scientists off, there was a massive amount of espionage, and he says like, you think spy stories are wild now? He's like, they're about to get even wilder in the next 10 years because so much is at stake.
Yeah. I mean, the market wouldn't have made nukes because there was no financial incentive to,
Right.
which is a little different with AI because there's a huge financial incentive there. And the markets obviously see the financial incentive because they're blowing up these valuations to what is OpenAI, like 500 billion now, 300
Yeah,
billion?
500 billion at
billion?
least, I think.
And they have what, 12 billion in revenue?
Yeah.
Correct.
That's pretty wild. So the market thinks there's value there.
Anthropic's doing like 5 billion, or no, I think they posted they might
10.
do like 7, 10, 8, 9.
They might reach
close
10.
at
Yeah.
10. I mean, this is crazy.
I mean, the government might have to take it over because the implications of superintelligence as it pertains to sort of like national security and whatnot are just always going to be there. But if like the bottom falls out under the private market, like if the market just decides it doesn't want to value companies at like 50 times their revenue when a lot of their revenue is just coming from other companies just making money out of thin air and giving it to them to put back into the other company. And
Yeah, I mean, what if we have a little bubble pop in the middle of it, and there's just not as much investment going into it naturally, like there is now. People are like, well, the better chatbots aren't it, and hapless agents aren't enough, so bubble burst, and the government might have to come in.
So there's so many factors to this. That could definitely happen. It could happen where it's like the Eric thesis of like the bubble doesn't pop until AGI is achieved and CapEx will continue and no one wants to be left out of the merry-go-round. The other aspect is like you have people like Ilya who are the smartest people on the planet that understand how these models work saying they're not that great actually.
Right.
So there's actually this really interesting thing that goes on in AI. The people that understand them really well and the people that don't understand them at all are are like typically like the hype happens in the middle. The hype happens.
Are you
in the
talking
middle.
about Andrej Karpathy? He had
Yeah,
this
sorry,
like
Andrej Karpathy.
yeah,
not Ilya.
he was like
so Andrej literally called it slop, and this is the person that invented the term vibe coding.
what is it? Like all of AI?
yeah, he basically the transformer like
yeah,
the
he's saying the
GPT,
LLM infrastructure and the architecture is not going to get us to AGI, which is something we've mentioned on this pod many times, and it was, I think, a shock to some people for him to say that. But this is also someone that has so much knowledge that he's not looking at it from the productivity gains perspective and all the applications that are possible and how that's transforming things right before our eyes. He's looking at the fundamentals and saying, these are the reasons why I can't do certain things. And we're never going to get to what people believe is a generalized intelligence with this approach. We're going to have to innovate ourselves out of it. So what you could see is like, immediately, of course, been like, okay, will this be a catalyst for the bubble popping? Because this guy's words are very meaningful.
Right.
I don't think so. It doesn't appear to be that way. But these small events could cause it, where there's just like a sudden chain reaction of fear. And then next thing you know, it's like, what are we actually spending our money on? Is this worth it? Do we need to wait for the next wave of innovation to actually increase CapEx again? But at the same time, like the energy needs are there, the compute needs are there, the GPU requirements are there. The companies want it. There's billions of dollars in revenue flowing. Like, I don't see it slowing down. So first we have to decide, like, is there going to be a bubble pop before we reach a critical climax stage? And then if that happens, on the argument of like nationalization of this, what is arguably more powerful or as powerful as a nuke, and is like, critical to our freedom in the Western world, and we need to control it. Yes, if they nationalize it, it's going to be very controversial, because this whole thing is founded on like acceleration ideology. That's going to decelerate things. So you could argue, well, we've achieved a certain level of technological prowess that it's fine to decelerate it a bit for safety and alignment, but at the same time,
But
it could be too late.
If you're in an arms race,
yeah,
there's no such thing as safety and alignment.
there
I don't
isn't
think.
until it becomes an absolute like requirement.
The game theory is interesting here, because if you're a year plus ahead, let's call it the United States is a year plus ahead of China, then a lot of things get a little easier, right? Because it's obvious to China that they're losing, and it's obvious to us that we're winning, and you can do things like come out with like a nuclear arms treaty and be like, listen, we're winning, so you both want to like play this like alignment game and then slow this down a little bit? Obviously there's like incentives to go against it, but still. But if you're only 3 to 6 months ahead, the game theory is way different, because you're like, fuck it, just go harder and beat them. Because
but even a year is nothing. And if you think about what Andrej's saying, like, we're not going to get there this way anyway. So all the gains that are occurring are within this confine of the current model and infrastructures.
Yeah.
So some innovation has to happen. There's no reason why China actually doesn't usurp the U.S. That's probably a huge fear of these labs, right?
yeah.
I
I think for the sake of the argument, like, we should assume that we would reach it. And maybe it's not in 5 years, it's like in 7 to 10 years. And just assume that, like, okay, this is going to be a weapon of mass destruction, and whoever owns it and wins decisively will control the world. And because you're right, there's this blocker, there's the energy blocker, there's like a data wall. We've already used all the fucking internet, so like, how much more data is there to potentially train these things on? There's all these kind of like issues.
And that was the crux of his argument. Andrej was like, the data's bad. Most of the internet is garbage.
Yeah.
It's not like these LLMs are trained on like high quality New York Times articles. That's
or research, or
like they are in there, but it's a tiny percentage of what is like really constituting the base of the knowledge. So he was like, we're going to have to do really hard work to find the good data and create better models based on these smaller components of good data, basically.
I wonder, let's say the government was like, we need your frontier model, and I need to strip all the limits off of it. Like, I need you to like let it create bioweapons, let it hack, and let it do its thing. I wonder, like, I have a list here of like how AI could be used as a weapon of mass destruction to defeat China. Cyber and infrastructure warfare is one.
Nick has a list.
Yeah. I mean, I've been thinking about it the last week. I've just been like,
The algo has a list.
yeah, the autonomous like bioweapon, right? Just trying to like spit out as many of these. Defense is part of it, like understanding, where all the submarines are in the world is a insane advantage, because what nuclear submarines or nuclear things to take out if you wanted to dismantle someone. I think the biggest one is actually the information and psychological warfare, which I think you could do with an LLM. Economic and resource manipulation. So hypothetically, if there was something that was smart enough, a super intelligent system could trade and use information to like crater, commodity prices, or take out certain markets and use like economic warfare potentially. Anyway, the list kind of goes on. So the question is, could we have one of those with technology in the next like three years? And I think it's possible that it might get to a point where it's scary enough where the government's like, fuck, we need to win. And yes, your productivity and your
So
SaaS
do you
apps
guys
are
see
cute.
any argument for how they don't nationalize this?
I mean, maybe it's not nationalization. It's like a partnership like Boeing or Lockheed Martin is, right? They're government contractors. And there's several of these, like
They already are.
Anduril, right?
So,
They are, but I mean, forcing Lockheed and Boeing to combine efforts is a little more than what we're used to now, and that you could argue that could happen, right? Like, I want all the best researchers in one place. You need to be in a top secret skiff, where there's a lot more security than a startup. Give me a
these
break.
offices are going to be so locked down.
It would be in a military base though. It wouldn't be in like Silicon Valley. They'd build a military base to let this research go down on, because it's probably a joke how easy it is to steal the model weights of all the models right now.
Apparently they already did.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe Google DeepMind, they're used to, kiting customer data. They have the Google infrastructure, but OpenAI, I doubt they're as locked down as you might think they are.
Yeah.
Anthropic is still a startup. I mean, they're still raising money. Like in those cases, like security is not the thing. You're just trying to grow and stay alive. So anyway, the point is that startups and for-profit companies cannot guard against like nation state level espionage, or like someone like the NSA. And at some point, if you want an advantage, even if the threat of ASI and WMD via AI is not coming, if you want a lead, you need to at least stop them from stealing what you have now, so that you can get a lead. And so I don't know, the argument for nationalization sounds pretty wild.
But it's like
and pretty plausible.
Very dependent on who's in office too, right?
Yeah, that was
like
my
what
next thing.
happens if you have like a economic crash and then you get like President AOC. Does like an AOC administration nationalize AI, or do they like go full Luddite against it? Right.
Yeah, they
Right.
throttle it. Yeah.
That would be scary. I would honestly be scared if we throttled it.
Like you see
Yeah,
some
the
of the seeds of that
administration
right
is
now
a
with
critical factor.
The electricity, right? Like people are protesting data centers.
Yeah.
In their areas because they're using too much.
Oh, there's so many reasons
electricity.
why we'd have like civil unrest because of all. Energy is one. Climate change could be another. The fact that like big tech is getting all the gains and all the like love from the government. I mean, there's like probably 4 or 5 reasons why you could see like a picketing with AI signs with a
I'm
red
surprised we
hashtag.
don't already see more of it.
It's like just starting. Right now it's just an electricity thing, and it's kind of like localized to wherever that's an issue, and it's not really like a shared national outrage. You'd have to get to the point where there's like actual jobs being lost on top of it, I think, which is not really happening. Like I think the best you can argue is that like there are jobs not being given to people who might normally would have had those jobs, and like I've heard the young people aren't getting the jobs out of college and whatnot. But yeah, I don't think we're quite there yet, but it seems very plausible that
That's
we
probably
would
the.
be.
I mean, the who's in office is probably the biggest one, because when would the next president be? 2028.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a JD Vance is probably like the most likely for this to happen because he's like tied in with Silicon Valley, like kind of populist to begin with, kind of like maybe sort of like a front man for some things anyway. So that seems kind of plausible to me.
I don't know. Like, don't you think that like both sides are kind of like a little bit of a war machine? And like, if you're a politician, if you have this great epic enemy to fight against, it's advantageous.
Sort of, but like I think that the odds of there being like a kind of like cookie cutter mainstream Democratic president are just like they're just dropping like a stone right now.
I mean, it's also what the populace thinks and feels. I mean, we've seen both parties will just shift to whatever they think is going to get the vote and keep them in power. Sentiment is very low in the U.S., like generally compared to other countries, even though
AI?
on AI.
Like the hope and the promise and
Yeah.
what the actual gain will
Yeah.
be.
So, they've done like tons of surveys around this, and like we're definitely not at the top, like not even close.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the scary piece of this is that the government may not realize it until there's some kind of oh shit moment, and the population may not even recognize it until after the fact. So, I think that's even a greater argument for nationalization, though, because they'll be late to the game naturally, and they'll be so heavy-handed like the government usually is.
Yeah.
But then again, what if the stock market is like, what if the S&P 500 is 65% AI dependent? I mean, we're probably like 35 or 40% now. And you put a tweet out about nationalizing, does that crater the entire market? I mean, the chaos that would ensue would be insane.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's an interesting investing landscape for now, obviously, because it's like less of a free market than it ever has been.
Right.
And it's hard as a result because you don't know what somebody's going to tweet. There's a lot of people getting rich off knowing what somebody's going to tweet, and you don't know. As far as the nationalization play goes, I think as an investor, the thing you would want to identify would be like a smaller cap company that does something that's like sort of integral in the sort of supply chain. And in the free market, they just sell to everybody. But in a nationalization paradigm, the government goes, yeah, you're only going to sell to us. But then maybe we sort of just like juice you up as a result of that.
I mean, wouldn't that happen to the biggest company on earth, NVIDIA? They'd be like, you only sell to us, but we need $1 trillion cluster. So
I think it would maybe like hurt. Do you think it would like hurt NVIDIA more though?
I don't know. I mean, if their valuation is based on their like future AR, it's like,
but like
you put $1 trillion in AR for the next like 5 years, and the government's pretty good for it because they can print it.
That just seems like it would be more bullish like Bitcoin, because you're just getting long money printing, and like presumably like the government can't create real value by printing money, right? It just creates nominal value, and so the price of NVIDIA would go up in nominal terms. But if that's the game you're going to play, where you just like print money to do things, then don't things that just go up because money printing do better?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a derivative off of it, right? And I remember several of our past conversations where we're like, sometimes we get too cute and, like, play the derivative off of it and just play the thing. Like, where's the money directly going to flow? And it's going to flow to GPUs in this case. And by the way, this might happen after there's a massive crash. Like, this may not happen for a while, and we could see NVIDIA go up and down and up and down. Yeah. So it's not like it's like, oh, you buy now because of it. It's just, at some point, will the government be like, you only sell to us, and you're going to sell a lot of it, but it's only to us.
But you'd agree, though, like if you're talking about investing and you're like, I want to put in X dollars and get Y dollars back, and I care about like the multiple on that. The thing that's probably going to go up the most and the most irrationally, right, would probably be one of these kind of like suppliers that like if it's a small company, right, and it's like semi-critical in the supply chain, and you're doing like trillions of dollars of spend, then it may be a rounding error for you to just like buy out that company at like an irrational valuation or something like that.
Right. Like you mean like this government project?
Yeah.
Would buy it out essentially?
Yeah, probably, and wouldn't care so much about the price.
Yeah,
All I know is I won't be YOLOing anything. I think there's just way, way, way too many black swan risks. So, like, as much as I love NVIDIA, I won't be YOLOing NVIDIA. I would rather, pick a basket. If it's going to be stonks, pick a basket of stuff that I know. Like, but the problem is, like, they'll all be affected, but one might be more affected than the other with a certain type of news. So, like, bullish NVIDIA, but, Google's great, Microsoft's great. Tesla's great. These are all great companies to be owning right now. I mean, Google stock has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look at the last couple of years. It's just.
I partially share your sentiments. I also partially feel like really bad allocating money right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're getting to the season where we're going to find out if a lot of people are going to be getting out of the market. So I might be one of them. I'm looking for the same thing everyone's looking for, looking for the signs.
It's like we all know bubbles exist. Everybody knows bubbles exist. You get in a bubble, you still don't know that you're in a bubble, and then next thing you know, like it goes down, and every single time it's just
We
like,
were clearly
no.
in a bubble.
Yeah, it's obvious that was a bubble, and then everybody goes, no, this time is different. And people say, no, they always say that, and then they go, no, but this time is really different because X, Y, Z, and then you build a convincing thesis, and eventually the stuff just keeps going up and going up.
I'm really glad you're saying that, because that's my number one concern with the thing that I agree with Eric on, that I'm questioning myself on, which is that this is just going to be different and play out, and it's going to be a merry-go-round, and no one's going to want to be left out, and the capex is going to continue, and that's going to drive the economy indefinitely. Because I think it's not different. I think it's almost always proven to be cyclical, and so I'm way more leaning in the direction of like ready to get out than I am further allocating capital.
On the other hand, you're
Could get left behind.
You're just about to enter the paradigm of new Fed chair and election year next year. It's just like,
and we're literally in an exponential technological wave that we've never, ever, ever seen before. We've never seen this before. This is different. This is the same as the dot-com bubble, but it's different.
how is
steroids.
How is it different though? Because like I'm seeing stuff that looks similar, i.e., like the massive inflation of company values without like a.
The most common answer I think is that the companies are better now.
The companies are better.
They're profitable. Like NVIDIA's profit margins are absolutely ridiculous.
OpenAI is not profitable.
No, but they're not part of the stock market, so like I don't really care.
NVIDIA's like profit margin completely contingent about the idea that the entire universe of money, the universe of capital, sort of believes this is a thing, and so they throw money at shit, and then that all flows to NVIDIA. So that seems like a bad reason. Like when Eric is here and he's like, well, the multiples look great. Well, it's like, yeah, and if the cash going to NVIDIA was driven by like companies who were using NVIDIA products, making a ton of profit, and then turning around and investing that again into more NVIDIA chips, then I would be like, okay, that makes sense. But if it's all coming from companies who are either raising money to dump it in, or they have like other businesses that are cash cows that they're just funneling money from to dump it in, like, isn't that like kind of fake?
Isn't one, but Meta,
Meta already used AI to like enhance their algorithms, but the level of investment you're talking about is
it's so beyond that. Right?
Yeah, it's so beyond that, right? They don't need this level to like optimize the algorithms. But I mean, we know their biggest customers, Google. I mean, they have GCP, Google Cloud. They have customers who are using it, like, someone like Steno. Not that you use them specifically, but like an application like Steno.
We go through Azure.
Yeah, Azure. So Microsoft's buying. OpenAI is buying Azure from them.
No, you didn't do the
Azure. Capiche? Yeah.
That's a deep cut.
Deep alfalfa cut. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. Like, there's no. It's mainly these cash cows, or they're profitable because they're renting them out to like unprofitable startups who hope to, make it big.
It's like if you were like a landlord and you're like, all of my tenants, 100% of my tenants are CEOs of like wildly volatile startups that have an 80% rate of failure. I would be like, Nick, that seems like your cash flow is like standing on shaky ground,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, underwriting it's
We
tough.
should stop calling them startups, though.
Yeah.
It just so happens that they're not public companies, but these are bigger than most of the public companies from 15 years
That's
ago.
also part of the problem, though, right?
It is a
like
part of the
OpenAI
problem.
is like not. You can't call it a startup. It's been around forever, basically. Like everybody knows about it. Like,
Don't forget it's a
uses
nonprofit too.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah,
and
it's just what's going on with the markets. We have so much later stage capital in private markets that, there's no pathway to IPO for a lot of these companies.
I mean, just to pull ourselves out of the investing frame of it, like I still think this is one of the wildest things that we are not talking about as much yet. That is this geopolitical conflict, and like, imagine like, and it's also not hard to figure out where these GPU clusters are going to be, like where in the U.S., where in China they're going to be, and I wonder like, is there going to be a day where like the first strike, war plan is to bomb the GPU cluster, or like send in a special operations team to like, somehow steal the weights off of that cluster, or to somehow subterfuge like the energy production. I mean, this decade could get absolutely fucking insane when you think about the incentives. And I guess you still have to assume that there's this like great prize of ASI at the end of the tunnel. But if you can get past that assumption, just look at like, okay, there are lots of things to figure out, but there's this exponential curve of innovation in this one sector. There's a massive amount of resources being put into it, and we just assume that this trajectory will continue. I mean, I wonder who will be this present day Oppenheimer to like lead the the military's version of like an artificial super intelligence. And
Probably already happening.
it probably is.
You don't know about it.
I would hope so. Like I really hope that like the military is taking it seriously enough to, the wild amounts of like.
Do you think that's the best outcome, to just like have a government take over AI?
Yeah, because I guess like the militarized version of it. Yes. Yeah, I don't want any other like capitalist to have these like offensive cyber weapons and some kind of potential biological warfare or psychological information warfare things. I mean, you could argue that like the most powerful people in the world are Elon and Zuck because they control the news feeds of what you're looking at, and they already own information and psychological warfare, and that's probably is about as scary as I'd like it to get.
Yeah, you would probably agree that when you talk about the largest companies and the people who run those largest companies, like they're probably actually already at a point where they're more powerful than the vast majorities of countries on planet Earth.
Yeah, I mean, like there's obviously whole arguments around did they influence an election or not, and did the government like go behind the scenes to influence an election or not? And it just showcases how powerful they already are.
Does the idea of countries just like what does that even mean anymore in a world where like corporations are so fucking powerful?
I had a buddy, he manages he's got a debt fund, buying like private debt fund. And I asked him, I said, so after the debt fund, like what's your goal? And I was like, he seemed like very politically oriented. I was like, would you ever like run for office, and like, do you ever aspire to have like some big office? And he was like, no, man, that's not the play. I was like, what is it? He's like, Fortune 500 CEO. I was like, what? He's like, do you know how powerful a Fortune 500 CEO is?
Do you know how rich they are?
And he's like, yeah, beyond rich though, it's the power of, will I invest in your country? Will I not? Will I pull out of your country? Will I not? Will I use this technology to like help you, or will I not? And he made a really sound argument that, Fortune 500 CEOs are more powerful than the significant majority of, country prime ministers and presidents. And like, he's like, most of them are irrelevant, but if you're a Fortune 500 CEO, like just donating millions of dollars already gets you that power. But
That's
then you control like a massive amount of resources. Maybe you control media. Maybe you control technology.
Do you think we'll see a company like acquire a nation state in our lifetime?
Can you do that?
I mean, of course you can.
You buy out the citizens?
Yeah. Right? I mean, think about it. Like, imagine you went to some poor country, right, where the GDP of the entire nation is like $40 billion, and you're like an $8 trillion company. And for whatever reason, you're just like, we're going to acquire this country. We're going to run it in the way that we want to run it and all this stuff. We're going to like basically like offer all the citizens like a one-time, we're going to build everybody in the country like a home. We're going to give you like equity in the country in a particular way. So we're going to distribute cash flows. You make this like a whole plan out.
You also get one-time cash for your land, like everything. You get an income. I mean, wouldn't it be run like Saudi? Because isn't Saudi like their workforce isn't their own citizens. It's people from Pakistan and India and
Yeah.
the Philippines.
Like, I wonder if this is actually the end state of most all governments, to be honest. Like, I actually wonder if, like, what we think of as government and sort of the divide between government and corporations and sort of like the power hierarchy, I wonder if that's all just like actually not the way that it will be forever. I wonder if this is actually just like a blip on the radar of like everything that we've experienced in the modern world, and it won't be like that in the future.
Feels like the storyline of most sci-fi movies, right? Where there's like big, angry, scary, mean corporation like ruling over the people. Ready Player One's kind of like that, and
is this like
there's
a
a revolt.
Nick Land?
No.
But is this what you would foresee in a Nick Land world?
I think Nick Land specifically is like agnostic to the existence of humanity itself. So it's like kind of.
Should we dig into this?
Sure.
Why don't you tell us who Nick Land is? Because you introduced it to me.
Well, I came upon Nick Land because I was listening to a kind of interesting Tucker Carlson episode about demonic forces in Silicon Valley, and there's a whole guest on explaining.
The moment you texted me, I was like, this is why I don't live in San Francisco anymore. Thank God. Like, I don't need to be that close. Like, this is not the conversation I need at the cafe.
The dinner parties, bro.
Yeah,
the dinner parties.
The dinner parties no one drinks at.
Yeah.
No, I forget this guy's name, but like he was saying all this shit, and I was like, this sounds fucking crazy. This can't be a real thing. So I started just kind of Googling stuff and asking stuff, and like he kept talking about this like Nick Land guy and how he's just like, a lot of followers in Silicon Valley circles and all this stuff, and I started like looking into him, and I was just like, oh, this is some wild shit. He's got some like crazy.
First thing
Crazy
that comes to
ideas.
mind with all this stuff, we should dig into the ideas, but I'm just like, y'all need Jesus. Like, these people are so...
The Silicon Valley?
Yeah,
people?
these people are so infatuated with just, it's a new religion. It's just completely a new religion, and it's an anti-human one, which is the most fascinating part about it. But as you've explained, and as I looked into it as well, it's this right-leaning accelerationism, not the typical left-leaning one that we've discussed. So I think we should break down the differences, what really is...
Should tell the people what accelerationism is.
Yeah,
I guess.
let's just start from the bottom and why Nick Land even got your attention. Like, what's so demonic about this?
I mean, we've glanced over accelerationism on this pod a little bit. We talked about it a bunch in our episode on the AI destroying the world. What was the name of that website?
AI 2027?
AI2027.org or something like that.
Yeah.
There's this idea that capitalism and progress in general is sort of like bad in a way for humanity, but it's like temporarily bad, because if we get to the end state of it, we'll effectively have like infinite abundance, and then everybody will be able to like live all the lives they want. And because of that, what we should do is actually take all these bad times and just push through them as quickly as possible to get to the end state, accelerate to the end state, because then in the end state, we all get Lambos and girlfriends and
Utopia.
we paint all day and everything is like fine, right?
Yeah.
So that
I see no problems with this so far.
it sounds good. But the right accelerationism as kind of like, I don't know if Lamb was like the original guy or he sort of popularized it, but it's sort of this accelerationism that's sort of like agnostic to the existence of humanity itself. It sort of takes a step back and views humanity as just this like little system in a greater system of systems in the universe, right? And it's the sole purpose of humanity in a way is to basically just assemble AI effectively, right? And in doing so, it's like sort of an extension of capitalism itself, because capitalism is this sort of like self-sustaining, self-propagating system, which is kind of fascinating to think about, that basically just seeks to take like individual like atoms and molecules and energy in the universe and like assemble it into like a system that is like greater than the sum of the parts, and to sort of like grow sort of like the energy of that system itself, right? And so in that sort of like framework where humans basically exist, they create capitalism, and then capitalism ultimately creates AI, which becomes like extreme super intelligence. Then humans are just these like temporary little curious biological clusters of selves that only exist because they're able to like be this bridge between like the physical and the digital world, and to sort of like be this conduit to take like to transform like energy and matter into this like
From meat to
intelligent life
silicone.
that just sort of transcends the physical
Atoms
world,
to
if
bits.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
atoms to bits.
Right. And so I think from Land's perspective, he's like kind of like autistic and everything. And he's just like, this is the system and it's beautiful. And we should just
Vessel.
let the process let the process go forth. Right.
Yeah.
But it ends probably in the destruction of humanity. So it's like a weird take.
Yeah, I mean, there's some wild quotes.
It's a weird take. Here's the thing: is like, in order to understand any argument, you really got to put the hat on. And when I put the hat on, I can totally understand how somebody would reach that conclusion. And if they really struggled with empathy for humans and what makes a human being, for lack of a better word, special in existence, like we are the candle that, as far as we know, is lit in the entire universe. And we need to acknowledge that that's what we know. Like there is no other existence that is known in the universe to us, to our species. And so if we're going to be so impartial and agnostic to the idea that our role after 1 billion years of evolution, 3 billion years on this planet, and everything that has matured into what we are today to create consciousness is nothing more than to be a vessel for transcendence, I can understand that. I really can. It's like, if you really put the hat on, it's like, wow, maybe that's the role of humanity. It's a beautiful vision. Like we're the bridge, and there's this alien force here that is meant to blossom and become interstellar, and that's actually the path to becoming an interstellar intelligent species. And they'll look back and they'll thank the humans and they'll say, thank you for bringing us and birthing us into existence. I can understand that. But here's where I disagree. I think humans are special. And I think that consciousness is lit as a candle in a biological form, and that we're this instance of it that has recognition of the self and has the awareness of the self, and that may not be lit. I don't believe it will be lit with AI. I don't think that AI becomes conscious in the way that human beings are. And that's just like a hard line that I don't think exists in non-biological forms. And so what we would ultimately be doing is destroying possibly the only instance of, and I don't think it is, like logically speaking, the only instance of consciousness in the entire universe. And that could be the end of the universe as far as awareness knows it. I'm not for that. Like that's not a positive trade-off to me.
Can you really make a big distinction between consciousness of humans and consciousness of a super intelligent AI?
I mean, I can, because that's my worldview. I believe in this form of idealism, right? And that idealism exists as a, consciousness as the primary first substrate. Like being itself, ontology, exists on this consciousness first layer that is aware through human beings currently, and aware in many life forms that are biological. But I don't see how that exists in computation. Computation is a box that exists that human beings created with their minds, with their fingers, and I don't think that that transmits itself in the same way. I think it does transmit itself with a new life form that's created, but I don't think it transmits itself through non-biological means. So I just don't see, like, look, it's just so, I can understand the argument for transhumanism and a merging of humanity with AI. And I think that's probably where we're headed, and that's where Elon thinks we're headed. And he thinks that's inevitable. And so he thinks we might as well get ahead of it and start implanting it and start becoming it and start mutating into it so that we coexist alongside the bits. I get that. I think that's important. We should get to experience it. We should get to experience Mars. We should get to experience the cosmos. That's exciting to know that your future offspring will get to experience that. It's not exciting to me to just be a fucking vessel and that's it. And it's the end of humanity. And so, like, there's some essays out there, and one I sent to Steven is like, basically, if you look at Nick Land's argument, we have only two choices. We accelerate and it's the end of humanity, or we Armageddon ourselves. Back to the Stone Age.
And there are some people who think that that's what happened in like Atlantis.
Yeah. I mean, we have so much interesting evidence of this. Like, have you seen the maps of Antarctica before there was awareness of Antarctica that Graham Hancock talks about?
Mhm.
It's
No.
wild.
Wait,
It's
what do you mean?
wild. Like, the shit that this guy pulls up is absolutely wild. Like, shout out to Matt Metzler, who's like deep in this stuff. There's so many fascinating reasons to believe that there was some sort of event like this already.
Yeah, we already ran this whole thing. It's kind of like interesting. Like, you know, people have done studies on like, well, take New York City and humans go away. Like, what evidence would you have New York City exists like 100,000 years from now? And the answer is like basically none. Like everything would like disintegrate.
Yeah, there would be none.
And if there was like an ocean involved, and you know, even more so, maybe, I don't know. So it's like a fascinating thing to contemplate.
So is his like prediction of how this plays out? We're here to develop capitalism, to develop AI. The AI, like I don't know, somehow lives beyond us. Either we die in some cataclysmic event, and the AI lives on and kind of propagates throughout the universe. Is that kind of what he's saying the end game is?
I mean, basically, I think he sort of postulates that humans are but like a small little system in the system of systems that is the universe, and all these systems like sort of have like a particular purpose, you know?
Yeah, and
This is why I say they need God, because this is their new meaning. The meaning that people have created for their lives is that this is what they're here to do now.
Well,
We must accelerate toward this.
Yeah,
This
and-
is my God. This is my purpose. It's a purpose for them.
And part of it, like, you have to assume a few different things. Like, one, it seems like he assumes it's already happening. You can't stop
Yeah.
it. So, like, just don't even try. And then he kind of throws out the idea of morality, right? Like, he's like, you should be indifferent to morality because this thing is happening. This is how it's going to happen. And, you know, your morality is so insignificant in this process.
Yeah,
Is that
I bet
how he
scores
describes
really
it?
highly on the Big Five on compassion. God.
I mean, it's like you're like an ant in the rainforest who plays like a role in the ecosystem and trying to like zoom
Right.
out to the universe. And
What's that? And what's that ant's definition of right and wrong? Does it matter? Probably not.
Yeah, it would be like a comparable thing, like if you were to actually kind of like step outside of all of the frames that you have. And
Which
do
is
your
why Elon might be right that our fundamental choice is to coexist.
Well,
And that we have to accelerate toward that.
Would you say there's like three choices? Like one is you nuke yourself back to the Stone Age and
Yeah.
avoid anything happening, which you'd probably actually have to nuke yourself back to the Stone Age. Otherwise, like the economic incentives they're just too powerful. Like the incentives of like political power and capitalism they're just so overwhelming that there's nothing you could do to avoid this from taking place, other than to actually just blow up humanity back to, you know,
To stop all this
20,000 years.
acceleration.
Global EMP.
Option two, you just let this happen, and then like you naively think that you can control it, which like I've thought about this a lot, and I think it's like hilarious that we think that we'll be able to like control it. Like I don't
Obviously, the whole accelerate. Obviously, like the last year, the whole Elon motivation to decelerate and align everybody and focus on alignment, that went out the window. And then Elon said, "Okay, well, if that's out the window, I'm going to go build my own and win." So like that's not happening. And now everyone thinks that we're going to achieve AGI and then talk about alignment. You know, like
Yeah.
as if that's like going to work.
Yeah, it's very laughable once you actually like ponder the implications of this.
Yeah, we'll let it unravel and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So then third,
Option is to merge
Yeah.
with the intelligence in such a way that like you just become one with it, and it can't really take you out because you are it and it is you, and
Yeah.
you know, in some ways superior. Like if you could access all of the compute but still have like the human faculties, you would be superior in a lot of ways. I think.
Yeah.
You'd be mortal, but like you could do a lot of other
or
things. You
not,
have the
or
human
not.
emotion and art
Maybe it
and
helps
stuff
you
like that.
achieve longevity and immortality.
Yeah. But like I think one of the thought exercises that Land uses where he sort of like postulates the idea that a future super intelligence like time traveled to humans and basically like gave them capitalism
Yeah, like
with the knowledge that like in doing so they would set forth this sort of like self-propagating system that ultimately like in the end state assembles itself into AI and allows them to sort of manifest in the reality of the world. Which I think is like a really like cool thing to think about.
They're like, all right, I dropped capitalism on it. Give it about 3,500 years, and
Sounds
we'll
like
be
it would
there.
have been a good Ayn Rand novel.
I mean, yeah.
It's funny because what the aliens planned is an Ayn Rand book.
Yeah.
In there, and then they read it. And
Maybe.
it's like the Coke bottle coming down from the sky, and you're like, oh shit.
Have you guys read any Ayn Rand?
Yeah.
I wanna. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have.
I mean, holy shit. What's her main novel?
Fountainhead
No.
and
Atlas Shrugged. Holy shit. Reread Atlas Shrugged or re-listen to it or watch the
very,
shitty movies. But man, is it prescient right now.
It looks
I think they're
very
trying to make it
accurate
a
right now.
movie, but it's going to get a lot of pushback.
It's already a movie. It's
oh,
okay.
I
Like
thought
you,
there was like a new one in the works or something.
I hope so, but you can watch it. I think it's like free on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like Atlas Shrugged movie. It's very not
one
great.
one of them, Mark
problematic,
Andreessen
yeah.
was talking about they're going to turn into a movie or something.
Yeah, but I mean, you read it now and you look how they like push the innovators away and we don't celebrate them. And I mean, I bet you could find something if you reread it. You could find something in the news every week that would remind you of that book.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like, should you be celebrating the innovators if they're just sort of like putting you closer and closer on an
Well, I
inevitable
can-
path to the destruction of the
I just think back
human-
to the
human
ant.
race?
I'm the ant. I don't, okay, if there is no meeting, it doesn't matter. Then I'll just do, in my mind, it'll be like my own little party. And that'll be my meeting.
I can
and-
tell you guys this stuff is already unpopular and it's not going to be popular and Silicon Valley is not going to get what it wants. Like that's just facts. Like Silicon Valley is so naive and in such a bubble of its own. And I say this as a former proud member of it. Like, it's just you're so tapped out from what the rest of your country and humanity wants that you actually believe this new dogma is something that like other people are excited about and they have absolutely no care or idea of how the rest of the world is feeling. It's not going to work. It's going to be very unpopular. There'll be huge uprisings. We will decelerate. I don't know what it looks like, whether we nationalize or not, but it's not going to be this like binary outcome. It's always messy, and it will continue to get more messy.
This is wild. So this is the Gupta 3 bullet point recap of Land's fate of humanity. 1, we are the midwives to our replacements.
Midwives.
The machinic process needs us only until it can code itself fully into machines. Once AI surpasses biological intelligence, the human race becomes redundant. 2nd bullet point, no apocalypse, no rebellion, just transcendence through elimination. The extinction is quiet, metabolic, inevitable. The 3rd bullet point, humanism is the real illusion. The Enlightenment belief that reason gives humans mastery over nature is inverted. Reason was the means by which nature, through us, began automating itself, setting the stage for its own displacement. Holy shit.
That's such
It's very Hollywood.
It's
It's very Hollywood.
such a good thought.
I mean,
What, the last one?
Yeah, because like it's okay. So what I like about Land is that one of the things I've been coming to the realization.
You always end up
of-
liking these people.
Well, I like.
you like a lot of Nicks. Me, Fuentes,
First he
Land.
disliked
I
Curtis
don't-
Jarvid. Now he's like, yeah, I think I mostly agree with him.
Yeah, I do think he makes some good points now. But I don't agree with Land. I like Land because what I think what he's doing is like one of the things that I've kind of been like settling into, and I think you and I talked about this a little bit at dinner last week, is like I've been kind of like realizing that the world like actually is very much settling into like sort of like a battle between like the spiritual and like the sort of like complete like techno
Yeah.
lords, and like there are people who like to like live in this purgatory where they think that they can ignore both of those things and that the world is not one of those things. But like I feel like we're just like accelerating toward a future where like those are like the two paths that we go down. And like land, I think is good because it's like a very pure expression of like the other path. Like the other path is basically you just view humanity as just like a universal process, right? And you're so disconnected from it, and you that you like kind of admire it and like root it on and cheer for it, right? And then the other end of it, you have like sort of like, you know, the full religious zealotry, which is like kind of starting to become like anti-AI because it's becoming popular to see like the parallels in like AI and like the Book of Revelations and shit like that. And there are some kind of funny overlaps there. And you wonder like how much of this stuff like is truly like new, or, you know, is like how much of these books are just telling us things about ourselves that we already knew and figured out in like ways that, you know, like we have to like rediscover again. I don't know. But if you follow all the logic down the rabbit hole, like those are the kind of two paths you have to pick, right? You have to.
I totally agree that it's going to be a spiritual war.
It's funny at dinner.
It's a war of meaning of what human really is.
At dinner last week, one of our friends was like, I'm going to church. I'm like, what? You go to church? You're religious?
I need to know which friend now.
It was at dinner. I don't want to call him out, but you know, we were like, what? Why? Since when are you religious? I'm not. Just think it'd be good for my daughter to have like a moral framework, you know, and community of church and religion. And now that you present these like two routes, I'm like, oh, he probably just
people are being nudged
choosing
in one direction or the other for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because I think they're sort of seeing what happens to humans with like no guardrails, like truly, and people we don't like it. And to your point about Silicon Valley, like not understanding the world, like I think that the general populace is by and large like pretty religious and spiritual, and they kind of view Silicon Valley in like this sort of like actual like demonic sort of godless way, and the things that are happening is like not good for humanity, because I don't think people value the things that Silicon Valley values by and large. I think actually a lot of people value a lot of sort of like non-economic, like progress things.
100%.
Like they actually sort of believe themselves to be in this like
they
transitory state.
Their community, their friends, their family, their sports, their gatherings, their religion, their God, their basic stuff, meals together. Like they're not trying to accelerate toward some technological utopia or demise.
I mean, I don't really blame them for kind of being this way, thinking this way. I mean, imagine you have a city that's like a one industry city, and it's not like New York. I think we talked about this. Like New York is a multi-industry city. There's banking and finance and tech and media, and you go to Silicon Valley and it's one. And all these people live in the future, right? And yes, some of them are going to economic means, but I think to them this progress is inevitable, and you're just so saturated by this level of thinking, and I don't know, maybe humanity gets some good from it, from this like
it's exciting to
mono
be there.
thinking.
I always called it mission control for humanity. Like that's the way it feels. That's what Silicon Valley is pointing the compass and accelerating toward what it can innovate and create, and we all get to reap the rewards of the innovations that come out of Silicon Valley, right? And many of them do. Europe's doing some things now. But in general, it's
the tone of your voice just explained that all.
No, I mean, no.
They're trying.
Some are doing something,
and some,
I assume, have air
people.
Conditioning.
No, they don't have that. No, don't go too.
They haven't reached air conditioning.
Some, I assume.
But I meant that seriously. The voice changed because it's relative. Yeah. It's much smaller, but they are doing some really cool things. But that said, like mission control for humanity is Silicon Valley. That said, we have 8 billion people on this planet, and there are checks and balances, and bubbles pop. And the bubbles pop because there's 8 billion people, and they get to dictate where the money flows at the end of the day. No matter how much you force top-down innovation in the workplace or wherever the money flows, like eventually human beings make the decisions.
But what if you could systematically cull the number of human beings in the world?
God.
There might be some of that going on.
Just hypothetically speaking, of course.
Yeah. Who's the proper debate partner for Nick Land? Because the chat has an idea who it might be. I'm curious what you guys would think. Who's the antithesis?
Oh yeah, well you would need whatever the guy on Tucker was. I forgot his fucking name. It's not.
Oh,
like
so
a big guy.
he was like, I hate this guy.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
like sort of like a very niche specialist in that like he had this lane he was in where he like argued against like the
Oh my God, Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Alex Jones that's just like Alex Jones is like he's too much of a cartoon character. Like this other guy had like a thoughtful thesis, right? Thoughtful thesis. He was a very kind of like good versus evil thing. He sort of painted this picture. It was a very compelling picture of why like the people in Silicon Valley are sort of like unwittingly like actually bringing about like the end times as prophesized. And it's interesting too because one of the interesting things he pointed out was that in the end times don't just come about and like everybody dies. Like
Is it Ivana Hughes?
Ivana Hughes?
No,
That doesn't ring a bell. What is the?
I don't know. I'm
You're
trying to find the
you
name.
remember the guy's
This
name?
looked like
Okay.
3 episodes ago.
Okay.
One of the things he points out that's interesting is that like in the end times, like initially there's a period of immense prosperity. Like the Antichrist comes and like everybody is like really happy for like a very long time. Like everything is good. And everybody is like kind of sucked in by like the illusion of like abundance and progress. And then things kind of go south.
Are we in that now? Or are we about to go in that? Or do we just have it?
I would think that like right now, I'm kind of feeling like we're in like the sort of irrational exuberance phase. I actually think that I'm starting to think like maybe we have like a lot longer for this to play out than we currently think, and we're going to be doing this show like 5 years from now, being like, yeah, it was pretty obvious that was like a bubble. But then like eventually the thing happens. At some point in our lifetimes, and then we have like we definitely don't have like the abundance. We're still in the phase right now. I think we've been like I don't know if you would agree with this, but you talk about Silicon Valley. Like I feel like we've been in like a dark ages of technology for like a couple of decades at this point. Where like I think it's been like a
Peter
long.
Thiel's argument, like I was promised flying saucers and I got 140 characters or whatever.
Yeah, kind of. Like I think like you talk about Silicon Valley. I think it's like an interesting question of like what are the greatest things Silicon Valley has done.
What do you
for
mean? They
humanity.
created the social media and the newsfeed, which created advertising, which funds the GPUs.
They're
which
really good at making me click on shit. Like really fucking good at that. And I don't doubt that there's some company somewhere in there. But if you look at like who's at the top of the heap in Silicon Valley, it's like companies that make us click on ads, and like companies that like have assembled humans into like autonomous warehouse drones so that like I can get like cheap shit as like efficiently as possible.
quickly, very quickly.
You know, and I don't know, like what is like the largest market cap Silicon Valley company that has done like the greatest thing for humanity that you could think of? Like if you were to like,
I mean, Uber Eats is pretty cool.
but it's
Amazon.
turned a bunch of humans into like delivery drones
yeah.
that are just temporary vessels for when they're inevitably replaced by like fucking robots.
Yeah.
I have a wild side tangent on delivery people. Apparently in New York, Uber Eats and DoorDash, there's a whole ecosystem to get migrants who can't get work visas. There's like this whole ecosystem for them to make cash.
Word.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Anyway, I'm not going to go down it.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. But it was wild. There's a whole like your driver is not the person on the app. They paid like $200 a month to rent out access to the app, and they can't get a driver's license, so they pay another guy $300 a month for a little moped.
That's insane. There's a
And
whole like arbitrage system within
for an underground system. So like
so
there's guys who
straight slave labor going on.
exactly
basically.
because these people can't get actual jobs, but they need money. So there's some guy who's got like 1,000 DoorDash profiles ready for you to access. You just need to pay for it.
Somewhere in New York, there's this fucking kid renting out some sick ass penthouse who like discovered this model and just wrote it up.
Well, this writer was talking about your rich Mamdanians, ordering a pad thai at midnight. You're the enabler of this whole like slavery system going on at the streets of New York at midnight.
Yes.
But we digress. Anything else on Nick Land, or should we talk?
Nope. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck. Good luck. Create your own meaning.
I'll be here. We'll talk about it.
Okay. So Chris Williamson, he's a podcaster, right? I've definitely watched a handful of his podcasts. He seems to have increasingly
I like Chris.
influential people on his podcast.
He's a good guy.
Good dude.
I like his podcast format. It's like the
It's
format
the
that wins the
podcast that
best.
I would do if I wasn't doing a podcast with you guys. You know, I like the title. I like
you like to
his
just
guests. I like.
Talk to fucking super interesting people
Yeah.
all day and get paid for it.
Yeah.
But like,
wow.
there's no concept of
Sign
like
me up.
who he is in the. He's just like asking questions to get the alpha out of him, and
Yeah, yeah.
very
He's
nice,
an eloquent.
high production value interviews.
Yeah, he's an eloquent interviewer.
Plus the accent helps.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the jawline and the accent, so you know it works.
All right, I didn't follow this as closely as you guys did, but it seems like he posted a week or two ago.
He's
got some
not doing well.
Serious health issues,
He's been fighting this stuff for like a year.
but it's not like a cancer or heart disease. It's a series of like environmental
mold
factors.
toxicity, Lyme disease,
Candida.
libido dropped, Candida, yeast.
Yeah, like a bacterial type infection.
Like everything is off in his system. Everything's off. His cognitive functions are low. His libido's low. He can't think. He can't remember. And he's doing these like interviews with the world's most interesting people, and he's like just surviving. And he like posted a 30-minute video of his journey over the last year. Did you watch it?
He's in the hospital bed.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I'm finally ready to share what I've been going through. This is like the last 6 months, year of my life. I've spent every waking hour outside of the work stuff just working on trying to fix myself. And I can't.
He
And
he
the
can't
video
fix himself,
ends-
or he can't stop the work.
I can't fix myself.
Okay.
He didn't talk about stopping the work.
Oh, he
at
didn't.
all.
Okay, because most of the people's reactions were, "Dude, just stop the
never
podcast
once
and focus on
mentioned-
your health."
Maybe I should take a break.
Didn't once.
No. I
Okay,
watched the whole video.
So maybe this cues up Carnivore Aurelius's tweet, because this
Yeah.
is the real angle. We maybe want to talk about it. Should I read this whole thing? It looks like about a minute long.
Try to, the
Okay.
bits you think are good.
Okay. Basically, Carnivore Aurelius says Chris Williamson and Jordan Peterson's main issue is not the mold toxicity of the Lyme. It's something many modern men are facing, and that's a massively burnt out nervous system, overstimulation, and repressed emotions. Running 3 businesses each, shouting at strangers on the internet, being perennial online, constant pressure to do more and have more is the worst thing for your nervous system. And a chronically activated nervous system destroys your adrenals, thyroid, gut, and energy levels. Now throw some mold and other modern toxins on top of that, and you have a recipe for a disaster. But the problem didn't start with the toxins or Lyme. It starts with your nervous system and your mind and emotions. Chris's nervous system, like many others, is stuck in flight or fight. Ultimately, it is just burnout. It just burns out. And I can empathize because I felt this way before. He goes on to say, basically, supplements and biohacks are not the thing. It's allowing your body to cope with a pretty toxic lifestyle. That's what supplements do. The way out is doing less, removing, not adding, figuring out what emotional triggers cause your nervous system to stay so anxious and fearful. If I were talking to Chris, I want to understand why he feels the need to work so hard and do so much. How much pressure is he putting on himself to succeed? And where is that coming from? What emotions is he repressing via his work that he feels like are too much to experience? No human is meant to do as much as the modern man attempts to, and it's driving us all mad.
Oh man,
I mean, that hit home.
that hit
I'm
home.
so excited to
I feel
unpack.
like
That
I
hit
should
home.
just do that. I feel like if Eric was here right now, he'd be like, "Dude, that hit me so hard."
No. He'd be like, guys, this is not a problem.
No, this one he would like.
You think
yeah,
so?
Yeah.
All right, Eric, text the group thread.
I
I think you're on the other.
You're right though. There's the two programs. It's
Two
either like,
programs. yeah.
yes, or it's just like, you guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah, just don't try so hard.
Just stop being dumb.
Yeah.
Have you guys considered not being losers?
Yeah. A bunch of pathetic losers.
Something that too. Like, inside you there are two.
Radical insight, or yeah.
Yeah, it's like inside you there are 2 Erics. Like those two. Just like stop trying so hard. You're like,
I didn't even think about that.
No, in all seriousness, like I've felt like this. Like I feel like I'm early stage of this right now.
But you're the most out of any of us to say like, hey, my nervous system's fried. You've said it multiple times in the past couple of years.
Yeah, and like honestly, like I might need like an intervention. Like I think I am like I feel like I get the Chris Williamson thing, because like I am like you get like addicted to like actually addicted. Like you literally cannot stop. Like I've had moments where it's just like, I need to take money out of my account. And like your brain will be like, what if I just like hit this ball against the wall for an hour instead? And like you just get distracted and do things and like the money won't come out. It's like a fucking curse. It's like there's like a thing in deep inside of you that's like, no, if you take the money out, it's like you like downsizing your business. It's like you selling. It's like you, and then like, what do? You're not going to grow. You're going to grow less. You're just going to do less. Like, what are you going to, and it's like fucking wild. But I didn't notice it at first, but like I notice it. I notice it now. It's like,
It's funny. Like I kind of talk shit
wild
to myself when it comes to like retirement. So let me get this straight. You're working your entire life to build the number up so that all of a sudden one day you can just draw it down. You think one day you're just going to be able to flip that switch and you're going to be okay with like the number going down and you're going to stop working and let the number go down and die with zero. It's like, who the fuck are you kidding? Like, you're not going to be able to do that. Yeah, I mean, I definitely get the nervous system thing. I feel it. I feel it when I sleep. I feel like it when I sleep. Yeah, I sleep fine, but it takes me a while to get to sleep, and I do the things. And
see, I can sleep. I can fall asleep, no problem. My ability to stay asleep is so bad now. Like I actually think I'm killing myself slowly from not sleeping.
Then you're definitely experiencing.
I am serious. Like I might need somebody to like just come home with me and just take all of the money out.
You're like, here's
mean,
chamomile, sir.
dude,
Like at this point, I'm like that fucking smoker who's just like, I'm gonna quit.
You want to do
I'm
it tonight?
quit.
Let's see how serious you are. You want to
Yeah,
do it tonight?
I'll hand you a cup of chamomile tea. I'll take your phone away,
Yeah.
and then you'll
Let's see
get
how
into
serious
bed
you are.
2
It's
hours
gonna
early.
involve me closing a very large ETH long that I'm extremely underwater on, so that'll be fun. Because that's hard too. It's
We
like,
don't even have kids. Like, this man does what we do, but has 2 kids. And I'm like, I don't even know how your nervous system is like
I
intact.
just like, yeah, I would. I mean, if I had kids, I'd be dead for sure. Like 100% would not be here. I would be in the hospital bed with those little bed sheets on, with my butt hanging out, and the thing on my finger, and probably a breathing tube. And I would basically be dead. I would basically be dead. So,
Okay. Well, if you need help, which I think you say
I mean,
you
that
do.
was a slight cry for help.
That was a slight cry for help. I'm happy to go home with you and help you pull this trigger. I think that was really interesting, what you said about addiction. That's really interesting. I hadn't considered that.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So I'm I push so hard. But I'm blessed that I know my limits. And I'll get to a point in my day where I'm pretty fried and I know what I need. And I'm not great at taking care of myself and self-care, but I know where the limit is and I know how to wind down and how to wind back up. When I look at someone like Chris, I feel so bad because I can completely understand his trap. Like, you are on a rocket ship. Like, he is on a rocket ship. He talked about this.
10x the subscribers.
10x to subscribers. He gets to talk to Matthew McConaughey. He gets to talk to whoever the fuck he wants, right? He's on his way to being a new Joe Rogan, right? And I can understand he's got so many responsibilities, sponsors, deals, guests that want to be on. His pipeline must be fucking exploding with guests that want to be on his podcast. By the way, Chris, I'd love to be on your podcast. It's like endless. And so when you consider that, it becomes a trap. One of the people that this is the thing that I admire most about this person, Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss made a really critical decision in the early days of his career. That guy is so acutely aware of his capacity and his desire to maintain a level of balance and harmony in his life because he has clearly been through difficult times. He has clearly burnt himself out and he doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes. And the way he operates, he's been very open about wanting to create a system and a life for himself that he wants to continuously show up to. And every time, because he's so good at reassessing, like he reminds me a lot of you, Nick. Like he constantly reassesses himself. He's super analytical, he's super goal oriented, and he's super acutely aware where he's reassessing himself and he's asking himself the right questions. He's like, should I continue doing this? Is this sustainable? Is this the path I want to be on? If I did this for another 5 years, what would my life look like? Like he talks about this stuff, and I don't listen to his podcast,
But he gives great
I know
questions,
him
though.
well enough from the early years of listening to him and being part of his world that I know he does that. And he continues to do that. And anytime he does a project, he's like, no, 99% of the time. There are some people, they can't say no. They can't say no because it's too exciting. It's too big. It's too incredible to know what you could achieve in life if you say yes. And Tim Ferriss has the opposite game plan. He's like, it's better for me to be a little bit under the radar and not be the top podcaster, but to have sanity. And so I think that's really interesting. I think that it's fascinating that Chris didn't even mention the possibility of stopping his podcast and taking a sabbatical or reducing it to once a week. He never once brought it up in the video. It's the number one comment, as Nick said on the YouTube. It's like, bro, take a break. We'll be here when you get back.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for him, but I understand to Steven's point, like it's difficult. You need help. Someone's got to come fucking slap you in the face and say enough is enough, dude. And so he's trying to solve it in the way that he solves everything else. Right? And he talked about this in the video. He's like, maybe I just need to push harder. And his David Goggins in his brain is going like, you're a pussy. Why are you complaining?
Right.
Just push through. Like you got this. And that must be really, really, really perplexing. That's really challenging.
You know, last week or the week before when we went through that exercise and it was like, what are your home emotions? Like, what are the top 2 or 3 emotions that you feel on a weekly basis? And like one of them I think I wrote down was like, I sometimes get this feeling of like overwhelm, you know? And to me that kind of like mirrors like the nervous system frying out a little bit. And through that exercise, I realized like there's another emotion that kills. There's other emotions that like kill those. So like the antidote to overwhelm. And for me, it was like playfulness and gratitude. Like if you can somehow find like a little bit of playfulness in whatever you're stressing out about, it really does kill the emotion inside of you. And gratitude does too, because you kind of like feel like you already have what you need and everything else is a little extra gravy. But anyway, from our Tony weekend, those are the 2 I'm trying to like train in those emotions more so that I can look back on a week and be like, okay, what were the top 2 or 3 emotions I felt? And if playfulness even gets to like the top 5, it's like, what a huge success. But I mean, I don't know. His case is like physical, right?
Yeah.
It's harder to
He's
to just
to
force
Carnivore
emotions.
Aurelius's point. He's chasing the wrong rabbit. Like he thinks that he needs to find the culprit in his body that is responsible for the dysfunction.
But it's actually just the Tim Ferriss route.
It's literally your lifestyle is not working. I'm not saying I agree, but that's what Carnivore is saying. Like your lifestyle, you got to change it. You got to adjust it. Like this tempo and this level of pressure, maybe some other people could handle it, not you.
Or maybe you and 23 years old could handle it.
Yeah, there's just different people, right? We're biological beings, and different people can handle different things. The level of prep he probably puts into a podcast is unparalleled. You can clearly tell he's prepared, all this stuff. Like he cares. Well, somebody else could do it, but it wouldn't be as good. It would be different, like, and it's also our brains. It's our psyche. Our psyche has a symbiosis with our body. What we tell ourselves, God knows what he's telling himself. And like what you're telling yourself is a huge factor in how you feel, because that's the irony. The guy is fucking ripped. He works out. He does all the right things. He eats healthy. He takes his supplements. So he's probably wondering, what am I doing wrong? And Carnivore's like, you're not doing anything wrong in that domain.
Yeah, his biggest point was that those supplements and those biohacks basically kind of like help you still stay alive
Function.
in a state of like high urgency, high importance, high nervous system stress, and all these like environmental factors around you. But the part that Aurelius says that's tough to get out is like get out of the modern lifestyle. I mean, I think that guy lives in a freaking ranch somewhere, and he's just bathing in his tainted sunlight 20 hours a day.
I don't think that works either because there are ambitious people in the world.
Sounds pretty good.
Like it sounds good, but I know I wouldn't be happy living on a farm. I'm ambitious.
Yeah.
Chris is ambitious. Let the guy be ambitious, but find the level of tolerance that you can play the game in a way that's sustainable. Reassess, make changes.
Yeah, Stephen. What instead of hours-long
What are you
trades, you just
reassessing?
do month-long trades or months-long trades? What you would call high time frame trading?
Yes, that's great in theory.
Let's hear about your addiction. You already just alluded to it. It sounds great in theory. Plenty of people that do it.
No, I'm addicted to trading.
I know you are.
Obviously, everybody knows this.
So, like, I'm sure this is speaking deeply to you. Do you have anything to say about, like, carnivore's take in particular for Chris? Do you think that's correct?
Yeah, he's super correct. I just can't do it, which is why I know I'm addicted. Because I know I should alter my behavior, but I don't alter my behavior.
But you've had a case in your previous lifetime where you've like done enough something, and one day you were like, that's enough. Like that is absolutely enough, and you just like changed your behavior. You've had moments like that in your life. in the
I
past,
probably
right?
just haven't done enough drugs yet. That's
Come on,
probably
you've done plenty of drugs.
Well, that's how I was able to quit the poker. I just had a psychedelic fueled binge and just woke up and quit.
Remember the mushroom story I told you guys about?
Yeah.
I have some in my house. I got some from the shaman as extra. It's been like, what, 2, 3
Did they
years?
expire?
I don't know. They're frozen.
Okay.
You'll be safe.
Yeah.
What do you need? Me to come to your house?
Yeah, I need some accountability.
What's
for
funny
sure.
about your experience is that like, you've had like let's call them like semi-traumatic episodes where like you've experienced the consequences of trading, but then you still go back to it. So like, do you need an even bigger?
You don't need to hit rock bottom, dude.
I'm like the dog. I'm like how your dog just sees food and just eat himself to death. Like I've experienced being poor and losing everything, and I'm just I view every chance to make a trade as just food that I have to eat. And if I don't take it, I'm there's just food sitting there, and then it just drives me crazy.
You have enough to just kind of
No, you're right. I do. I don't need to do that.
you have enough.
I don't
Just
need
take
to do
that
this.
and reduce to longer term time
I
horizon.
have plenty. I have
trading,
plenty,
and
and I've had a great year.
Great.
And
Go
I
do something else.
think I'm gonna I will probably blow myself up if I keep
Yeah,
being
that's what
an
you should
addict.
tell yourself.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Like the
I've
real
said
risk
all-
is
I've
not
said all
burnout.
this.
The real risk is everything you've built.
It is, but
Going
I
away.
think that's it's a secondary effect of the burnout. Because I've experienced this. You get burned out, and then you just start you get complacent. Or you
But
just do
that's what I'm
things,
saying.
know?
You could fuck it up.
Oh, no, for
I'm not.
sure.
I'm not saying you will. I'm just
For
saying,
sure. No, I totally agree.
you'll drop. Your capability drops. You won't make as good decisions.
No,
that you did in the beginning.
My intention Monday was to just wake up and just cash everything out into retirement and just start over. And just I'll just do it again. But then I saw a good trade. Or so I thought.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a trade again.
You
none,
gotta,
of the none of the money's come out yet.
You gotta,
I think the chat's
can-
fucking with you. They're just
cancel.
Bitcoin's pumping right now, just to trigger you to
There's
see how
no
you
way
react.
Bitcoin's pumping right now. Don't troll me.
Yeah,
Dude, you
they're-
gotta,
they're
like,
trolling.
close-
They're trolling you.
I'm not gonna open my phone and just it's gonna be down 5%. I'm gonna just
Close your accounts.
jump out Nick's window.
Well, you land softly on the first floor, so
I'm gonna end the pod. Bitcoin's gonna be up 6%. I'd be like, I take it all back. I love this game. It's the best.
Marty can't forgive cock punch. No, I agree. I agree, Marty.
Cock punch. Marty
I
was so
agree.
right about cock punch. We were trying to be all optimistic and shit. He was just like, no,
Yeah, I mean,
this is a disaster.
I flipped cock punch well, so I'm not gonna hate.
I flipped cock punch, a phrase that only makes sense on the Alfalfa podcast.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I think the alfalfa there is like do the self analysis and ask the right questions, and then you can wait to rock bottom, but you don't have to.
I feel like I want to
Truth.
have the ghost of the future visit Steven.
That's the question you have to ask yourself. Is
you
play this out for 1 year.
What if it's like the meme of the guy mining the diamonds, where he just like that's actually my biggest fear. It's just like
that's interesting.
the diamond is right there.
That's
You're just
interesting.
like-
that's the biggest fear you associate with
Every
it. It's
time
not like
you-
No,
losing
that's
everything.
dumb.
every time you're
No,
about,
that's dumb.
that is my biggest fear.
No,
Wow.
you literally just told us you have enough. That's dumb.
I do, but like I could have like
No,
way more than enough. Like,
That's what every.
I don't have
addict
enough to
says.
fly like first class like for the rest of my life.
You have
without
enough
making
to
any additional
comp-
Yes,
money.
you do.
You have enough to You have enough to
You
do
know,
something.
I got
else.
expenses.
This isn't
Portfolio
it.
only compounds so
This
fast.
isn't
Nick.
it. You're not done. You're just hitting.
I know. I just can't conceive of like.
You're just saying I'm 2 feet away from gold in this current game, and what anybody would say to you from the outside, and what your future self would say to you if you play through the Dickens process that Tony does. Play this out 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. What does your life look like? Who have you impacted?
Who have you hurt?
Who have you hurt?
Who's not in your life
Yourself,
anymore?
First and foremost. And think about it, and you'll say to yourself, like, the smart decision would have been to play a different game or to change the way I was playing the game. It's that simple. It's not saying don't strike gold. It's just saying take what you got and now compound that and parlay that into something better.
Yeah, again, everything you're saying to me, I understand my thoughts.
No,
of
but
myself.
I just understand how he's wired now. Like
the
his
thinking.
There's no
oh my God.
intervention happening with you.
There is
first of
no
all.
greater emotional trade than having a stop loss, being like, you know what, I should probably just sit this one out and closing it out before the stop loss, and then it just pumps to the fucking moon.
dude, his immense
There's no greater pain for
his
a
immense
man.
immeasurable pain is
no greater
is like
pain.
the guy
The pain of
mining the
closing out a
diamond, not blowing up.
Yeah, the diamond.
Oh,
Oh God. You're
Dude,
just
the-
like
the job
just
at
gonna
this-
walk away. The diamond's right there. Just one more
No.
This
swing.
is why I don't gamble.
Dude.
One more swing of the
This is why
pickaxe.
dude,
I can't
right
do it.
now at this
What
stage
if you were
of
good
where
at it,
we're at is to just not fuck it up. Like you just can't go back to zero. Like if you compound at 8%
Nobody ever got
instead
to
of
100 million, Nick, with a mentality of like, don't fuck it up.
I know.
You don't
I know.
have to do it playing the same game.
Yes.
Well, I'm not good at anything else. So.
That's bullshit, and that's just what you were. You good at
It's the
this
only
5
thing
years
I'm
ago?
good at.
Were you, oh
No,
okay.
but I was
What
good at
would've-
nothing 5 years
what
ago.
would've-
So
but that's the fucking
Touche.
point. That's the fucking point. How do you not see that? You were when you Poker Steven would have said, "I'm not good at anything else. I can't do anything
did
else."
say
other than
that.
Okay, well then, fuck.
I was right for like 4 years. It was a painful 4 years. I want to do that again. That
Oh,
sucked.
God. Yeah, most of our after
You know, it's like to be like really good at something, and then the thing just like they're just like, yeah, you can't do
Okay.
that anymore. Go. Fuck
Are you
yourself.
better off
And then you just
now-
wander in the desert.
Are you better off now than you were when you quit poker?
Yes,
Okay, then progress.
but not as good as I would have been if I just put everything in the S&P 500, logged off, and just went on vacation for 12 years. You know? So there's a lesson in that. There's a lesson in that,
Oh man.
which maybe I could learn now. Actually, now that I say
All
that.
right, there's no intervention happening with you. Just
Okay.
it's never happening.
I'm
You're interventionless.
I am not interventionless.
You would be.
I need to be intervened.
I don't think
upon.
Tony Robbins could even crack you.
We're gonna close the door, pump the volume up to 100, and just like fucking traumatize the shit out of him. You start crying, I'll start yelling.
Alfalfa after dark.
I hope the audience is enjoying this. At least.
Yeah. All right. Well,
That was good.
yeah, we'll use your suffering as a way to end this podcast. I think the three of us will be back next week.
Yeah.
All right, Eric,
be
we
here.
miss you.
See
Come
you.
back.
Guys, I am going to do a bucket list thing this weekend.
What are you gonna
What's
do?
that?
I will be going to Ludovico Einaudi.
Oh my God, where?
in LA,
Oh, I'm so going.
front row.
We're going.
Wait, it's this weekend?
It's this Saturday.
Fuck, I have a wedding.
I am
God
front
damn it.
row.
God
you buy
damn
these
it,
a while
Kyle.
ago?
I bought these like 8 months ago. Like I am
Sounds so amazing.
excited. My wife is equally, if not more, excited.
Sounds so much
it is
better
like
than watching my best friend get married.
The thing in our relationship that like really bonds us is Ludovico. Like we both love his music so much. And I will say Steven can play some serious Ludovico.
Yeah.
It's very technically complicated. No,
Steven,
it's not, but it's emotionally complicated.
It's emotionally
the hardest
complicated.
thing.
Over under on single tears that drop from Armand's face while sitting front row. I'm going over 3.
Oh, way over.
Oh,
Way over 3?
over.
That's
Way
the
over
line's
the-
over 3?
It's the easiest money.
Wait, how
ever.
long is this thing?
All in 20x
Couple
leverage.
hours
Oh,
probably.
a couple hours, yeah.
Oh my god, he's gonna be 3.
I
in
mean,
the
how
first
do you
song.
count? How do you count crying the whole time?
The first song? The first note's gonna be played, and he's gonna be like, "Oh God!"
Yeah,
I
together.
I should bring like a handkerchief, right in the
You just
front
gotta
pocket.
put your eyes up. Let
It's
it
gonna be
go
like-
back in.
He's gonna be like, "Oh God!"
I'm trying to think. I'll probably do it every time a new song starts. I'll probably cry.
Oh,
each
I
time.
know this one too.
And the middle and the end. I'm trying to think how I can augment the experience, enhance the experience even further. Like, what's the perfect way?
I think it's like
to
how
really
you dress.
enter this.
How you dress to the concert could alter the experience a little bit. Could level it up.
I was thinking about it. Other altered states.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to give you
I
the
think
non
a little bit of
the
an altered
non-chemical
state.
ones.
Yeah, I mean, I'll dress up. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Ketamine's pretty good for music.
Whoa, never done that.
You've never done ketamine?
No, I haven't done most things.
You
Ketamine's
haven't the
like,
way you said that. You haven't done ketamine.
Yeah, but ketamine's like
You make me feel like the.
it's like a
Cigarette?
it's like smoking a cigarette.
Come on, dude.
It's like
fuck
it's
outta here.
very
No
minor.
way.
It's so minor.
I want to be there.
It is.
Doesn't ketamine take you out of it?
No, it's a really good for music. You really like. I mean, don't do too much of it. Don't put yourself in a hole.
Yeah, maybe a little. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Little tasty taste.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right,
Not financial advice.
No Calvin.
not
ketamine, not financial.
We need a
advice.
different. We need a different discussion. Not medical advice.
Not any advice. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Chat, thanks for sticking with us today. We'll be back next Wednesday, 5 p.m. PST on YouTube. If you're listening, come like the video. Come subscribe. Come join us in the live stream. Even if you join us later. It'd be fun to see you guys in person. Anything else, guys?
No.
No, I love you.
That's enough for me.
Okay. Thank you,
I love
everyone.
you.
We'll see you next week. Adios.